We're now going to have a look at another example of completing the square to solve for x. And in this case, it's a little bit different to the previous video, because in the previous video, both the examples had a coefficient of x squared that was 1. And then you straight away go into completing the square. But if your coefficient of x squared is other than 1, you need to do an initial step to rectify that, and then you continue with the method that we saw before. So I don't want 4x squared, I just want x squared, which means I'd have to divide this term by 4. And if I divide any term by 4, I need to do that all the way through the equation. So 4x squared divided by 4 is going to leave me with x squared. 4x divided by 4, those 4's are again going to cancel, and I'll be left with x. My constant is very conveniently already on the right hand side, so I don't have to worry about that, but I have to divide it by 4, and 7 isn't divisible by 4, so it's going to remain a fraction of 7 over 4, meaning 7 divided by 4. So once I've got this to have a coefficient of 1, I'm going to go on and complete the square on the left hand side. So first of all, write down the two terms that you already have. I see so many cases where people actually understand the method, but because they don't write down what they have before processing the next number, they're so busy processing, then they just write that number down and they forget to have recorded this as well. Remember to bring everything down with you to the next step and then to proceed into what you need to do. So my coefficient of x is 1. I need to halve it first of all. And if I halve 1, I get a half, which obviously is a fraction. And then I need to square it. So remember, when you're squaring a fraction, you're squaring the numerator and you're squaring the denominator. So this is going to be positive because I'm squaring it. 1 squared is 1 and 2 squared is 4. If I look at my right hand side, I already have 7 over 4 there. I must write it down. Whatever I did to the left hand side, I have to do exactly the same thing to the right hand side. Now I'm ready to complete the square on this. In other words, it's going to become a bracket squared. Or sorry, I have completed the square and I'm now going to factorize it as a bracket squared. So how do I find my two terms? I square root x squared, which gives me x, and I square root a quarter, which the same principle applies. Square root of the numerator is still 1, and square root of the denominator is 2. And I take the sign of the middle term. 7 over 4 plus 1 over 4 is very conveniently 8 over 4, and 8 divided by 4 is 2. So I'm back to having quite a simple right hand side. Then remember, to get rid of this bracket squared, we're going to square root both sides, and on the right hand side we must consider the positive or negative possibility. So square rooting something squared is just going to leave me with what's inside. And this I can't simplify because 2 is not a perfect square. So I'm going to leave it as plus minus root 2. All I need to do now is to isolate my x, keep it on its own on this side. So x is equal to, the minus a half is going to come across and become positive a half. And I still have plus minus root 2. Then I would like to write all of that as one fraction. It's just more consolidated, it looks better. This is the answer, but let's write it as a single fraction. So I'm going to just do a little bit of rough work here to show you what I'm actually doing. My plus minus root 2, standing as it does there, is actually over an imaginary denominator of 1. But I want to have a denominator the same as this because I can't add or subtract unless I've got like denominators. So I need to make this denominator become 2. And then again, remember, whatever I do to the denominator, I have to do to the numerator. So my numerator, everything's going to be over 2 now because that's already over 2. And I'm busy converting this to be something over 2. 1 times 2 is 2. Plus minus root 2 times 2, the best way to write that is plus minus, put that number in front of the root, And then, of course, don't forget you've still got that 1 over there. So 1 plus or minus 2 times the square root of 2 over 2 is the best way to leave your answer as a single fraction. In our next episode, we'll be going on to deriving the quadratic equation and then seeing how to use the quadratic equation in actual examples. So look out for that. It should be out in the next few days. And to make sure that you don't miss it, please press that subscribe button.